And that's where I think a lot of like your style of riff writing comes from. Like anyone that plays riffs that are like open 3/5, open 12, 10/12, I'm like, you probably like Tom Morello. Do you know what I mean? Like. So that was where I got the tuning thing of just doing the one string, because all his drop B riffs were like that, basically.
Yeah, got you. And a guitar here with Hamish from Vukovi. Hamish, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on this delicate morning.
Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for making time with us. We caught up earlier in the summer.
Yep.
We've just about got to the end of festival season, at least in the UK. What have been some of the highlights of the year so far?
Oh my God, where to start? Well, every festival this year has been like a total desert. It's been insane. Trees was like a total career-defining show for us.
Incredible. Good to hear that, 'cause obviously I saw that performance. I chatted to you just before you played.
Yes.
We talked obviously about Mr. Fridge turning up in 2019, and he did somehow Mr. Fridge returned.
R.I.P.
And is now no more, because he could not handle another half-hour mosh pit.
I think the actual lore is he had kids.
That's incredible. But what makes that a career-defining, set in your own words?
Well, we've played Trees since like 2017, the first time we played, and we did like the cave stage and some of the smaller stages, and then after lockdown we headlined the new stage, which is a small stage next to the main stage. But before that we played the main stage as a fill-in slot. We just got a last minute slot to play the stage, so it didn't really feel like our slot. Does that make sense? Gotcha. It was an amazing show. It was absolutely amazing. So to actually get our own slot was just like, this is like a dream come true kind of thing. So
yeah,
and we'd literally just released My God Has Got a Gun, the new album. So we had the backdrop. I had my new amps just in time for the show, which are right here.
Stunning.
So it just came together really well, and we'd run like a really good team and lighting package on our tour just before that. So we had the full everything there for it. Do you know what I mean?
Even though it
was during the day though, so it was like bright sun, and we've got this lighting package that no one can really see. Do you know what I mean? It was like, but it just we never had a chance to do that before at a festival, so it really meant a lot to us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Any other festivals this summer you want to give a shout out to?
We also did Hills of Rock in Bulgaria, which was 40 degrees.
Oh man, that is just survival, right?
So dumb. Everyone thought trees was hot. That was obscene. So we opened the main stage there, which was crazy as well. We did Radar Festival in Manchester, which was also amazing. And we also did Jera on Air as well, if you know, in the Netherlands, which, by the way, was also about 36 degrees.
It was a hot one, but
oh
nice to have a festival season where it doesn't rain, especially in Europe, for sure.
Yeah.
nice to see these up close. We spoke about them last time.
Yep.
What is it, first of all, about the JCM 800 that has become your amp?
I think it started with, oh my God, I feel like everyone probably says this, but for me, it was Tom Morello.
Yeah, of course.
So he had the JSM 800, and he had, I think it was like a PV, he had like a PV PA amp cab or something.
They
I don't
were
know.
popular at the time, the early
Were they?
90s,
Yeah,
the PVs, yeah.
And I always remember that was his setup. And so when I was sort of younger, you know, my first amp was like a Line 6 Spider on insane mode, like the meme, you know, that was like my
classic,
sound.
Yeah.
But then
the Spider 3, I remember them.
So good, man. And at the time it was massive, and I was like, oh my God, it's so heavy. You don't know shit till you've picked up one of these, but.
Oh yeah.
And I always remember being like, why can I not get like the sound of like all my favourite bands out of this? Like I didn't sound like Tom Morello. I used to love like Rush and Dream Theater, and I was like, why does this not sound like it's not got that bottom end like? And I worked in a guitar shop at the time, and the guys were like, you need a valve amp. Like, that's what you need. And I couldn't afford an 800 at the time because I was like 16 and 17. So they had a second-hand JCM 2000 in the store.
Yeah.
So that was my first valve amp that I got it for like £400, like down from like £1,000, whatever it was. And I got that home, got a cab for it, and I was like, oh my God, that's it. Like cranked, like, when you crank these, do you know what I mean? When you
you
really crank the preamp.
1 out of 11.
And you know how loud that is in here right now.
Yeah.
So when you crank these,
it's earplug level already, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So when you crank that and you put like a distortion in front of it, I was like, oh my God, that's it. Do you know
But there's
a
quality to it, especially when, you know, it's all modelling amps actually do.
Yeah.
They're modelling something that has existed before, really.
Sure.
Be it pedals or valve amps or anything.
Yeah.
And if you want a sound, particularly that Tom Morello's, that early 90s kind of American rock sound, I would say.
Yeah.
This is the gear they used. It's not about setting up an amp that isn't that with settings or getting a modelling pedal to just get that amp.
Well, but the thing with Tom Morello, his distortion it's actually super clean.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't run a distortion pedal. Yeah. He just has this pretty cranked and just digs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think a combination of that and people like John Frusciante and that were where I've sort of developed like my style of like. Someone commented the other day, I put a video up of me playing this in this room. I don't know if you've seen that video on Instagram.
Yes.
Me playing it, and someone said like, I forgot that you play guitar like you want lunch money from it, because I like really like, I'm not a subtle guitar player. I'm also not like much of a lead player. I just never have been. But I like a lot of, I hope anyway, my sound comes from like just hitting it very hard. Do you know what I mean?
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah,
Tell me first of all about the design as well. This is pretty stunning. It's got the logos, but
So, God, where do I start with this? So that was a logo I drew for the band during lockdown. So I do like quite a lot of graphic stuff, and I've got like a graphics tablet. And we did a lockdown set for 2,000 Trees, and I wanted to make some like animated logo stuff, and that was just one of the frames of the animated logo that I'd done.
Wicked.
Yeah, so I just put it behind our main logo, and we use it sometimes for stuff. Anyway, I just thought it looked cool rather than just like our regular font. I like the scribbliness of it.
Look, good man for making your own. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And this, I wish I could give you more context as to why. I just thought it was cool.
Is this some kind of cat?
I just thought it was.
What do you see in this? Let us know in the comments below.
I'm gonna get ripped to shit for not knowing more about it.
No, it's great.
I just thought I have actually edited it a wee bit in Illustrator. I did a couple of things. I ripped it apart a bit more. And we used it for like a t-shirt design as well, and I just thought it looked a bit ominous. I don't know, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I kind of just
fantastic.
Just chucked it together, and then the red was just the red, black, and white is the colours of our new album. So
there you go.
Yeah.
But you were telling me earlier you're actually running these perfectly clean.
Yeah, super clean. Yeah.
And we've heard a lot of wonderful things from many bands, including People, but many others, about how good the actual power amp is of these, and that's why a lot of people love them.
Right.
You get out of them what you put into them. It's very authentic, very responsive.
100%.
But you were saying the sound of Vukovi is a bit more this.
Yeah, so the distort. Yeah, I mean, it's these two and the amp.
Yeah,
is really
the combination of the two.
Exactly.
So let's have a demo of that now, if you wouldn't mind. Starting off perfectly clean.
So you were saying perfectly clean first. Like,
it is beautiful to hear it out of two as well. One of these is generally a backup, because that's what you need with touring,
that's
right?
That's a backup normally.
Yeah,
and then this is always on.
But great to hear them in parallel.
I don't get to do this very often, so I'm having a great time.
I can imagine, that must be something. can hear that responsiveness there.
But you can hear it starting to break when you do it, and that's what I like. I mean, I don't play a lot of clean stuff. If I ever do, it's always
plenty of reverb,
drenched in. You know what I mean?
And who's inspiring that? What is? I mean, straight away that sounds a bit Johnny Marr to me. But is there any other?
God,
the reverby rhythm sound.
That's a great question, actually. So. Honestly, I used to work, I said earlier, in a guitar shop called Sound Control, which you probably know Sound Control from back in the day.
I remember it well, yeah.
There was a band.
I think that's now Guitar.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Some of them are.
Yes,
A lot of the staff that I used to know work in Guitar.
Good.
And some of the staff at the time were in a band called Vicheka. Massive call out to Vicheka. They were a big influence on me when I was like 18, 19. And their guitarist always played offset Jazzmasters. A guy called Graham Cameron, super talented guitarist. I don't even know if he's still playing these days, but I used to always admire his style. Good friend of mine at work. And just like a lot of their sounds, they had just like the coolest sounding guitars and keyboards. And the reverb for them was more drenched on their keys sound.
Yeah.
They had like kind of Rhodes sounds that would break up, be drenched in reverb, and I was always just like, this is so cool. Like as a wee guy, I was like, this is so, I don't know, formative for me at the time. So maybe that's the first thing that came to my head when you asked that, because I don't really think about that, honestly. Like, I'm not sure. You go. It just feels like an essential piece of kit.
with clean, for sure. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And are you using both these overdrives together, or which one is the one that you'd use the most often?
Just this setting here.
Gotcha.
Let's say just the second setting. I mean, the first setting I just use is like a slightly more.
Bit of
Rarely
so that's the
use
left-hand side on the Dual. What's the full name of this pedal, the green one?
This is the LT Dual Black Star.
Gotcha.
I've probably been using it for 8 years, maybe.
What made you buy it in the first place?
A friend recommended it.
Yeah.
I used to just use the distortion on the 2000, and then I just wanted a couple more options, like.
It's a very new metal-y. I think Sum 41.
The 2000 sound.
Yeah, right, the brown sound thing.
Totally. At the time, I loved it, but. My mate was using, there used to be a pedal called like a Shure Riot or something it was called.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
I don't remember it. I can't remember the sound of it.
So that was the first one I tried, and I kind of liked it, but I wasn't fully happy with it. And a friend of mine recommended this, and he was like, look, it's cheap. They were like 75 quid at the time. Easy to replace, because I just said this earlier, I break my stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very replaceable, quite common, and I just instantly was like, oh my God, that's it. Like. Just sounds rad.
Magic, isn't it?
Sounds so rad. And
so that's like the right-hand side of the Dual.
210, all maxed.
And everything up. Do you know the only band I've ever seen actually do that? Actually have a row of Marshalls and just roll them all to 11.
Right.
Stiff little fingers.
Oh, do you know they're the first live band I've ever seen?
Really? I did lights for them back in 2006 at the Lead Mill.
Oh
and
my God.
They're the only band I ever saw just on full.
Fuck it. Probably no. They probably had no noise suppressors, nothing.
No,
nothing.
Like, just hiss.
Well, I mean that's the thing for me. It's like I have to have a noise suppressor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, imagine that crank though.
Yes,
on 10 or and like
at a festival going through a PA.
It's not.
You can't.
No, and I do a lot
speaking.
I'll do like a lot of stops, so it'll just start doing that. So I cannot play a show.
So you're like constantly on that.
I'm working that all the time, and I'm always, if I'm changing to cleans, having to turn it off. So I've got quite good at dancing,
So you've got really totally clean, then a boosted, and then the kind of heavy sound.
Yes, exactly.
Both from the Dual. What's the POG for them?
The POG, honestly, I think that came about because we've always been a one guitar band.
Yeah.
So whenever it goes from a bit where it's supposed to lift a bit, that's my lift.
Right.
To add like.
Makes it chug more.
Yeah.
Is it kind of just compressing it, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Probably.
Nothing beats two guitars, right? And unfortunately, that's just like, unless you put it on track, but...
I would say live, though, when you have two guitars and you're both playing rhythm, unless you have very different sounds, it's just more of the same out front.
Sure.
So the great thing about seeing you guys play live, you have a lot of sounds, you have synthesizers in the verses and things like that.
Yeah.
But when you're playing, it's you playing and you can hear it even at the back of the back of the festival.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, it might not be the best solution. You could argue once bass guitar and subs are in, it might get a little bit lost of what that's doing that I just showed you. Do you know what I mean?
But it makes it chug, and you could see that as the chorus sound as well.
That is exactly.
Give us some variety with
so
that.
Yeah,
with
so a single note chorus without it would be.
Yeah, that's doing a lot more than compressing it. It almost sounds like you've got a bass player playing as well.
Yeah,
and you've got that low end.
I mean, you know, I think back when Death from Above 1979 and all that came out, and you know, Royal Blood and stuff like that, I was a wee bit inspired by that. But again, it kind of started with Tom Morello, because he used to use the octave down setting on his whammy a lot. But the problem for me was, like, as my guitar tone has changed, and just, I don't know, maybe the riffs I play have changed, I didn't love that sound as much. It's basically this sound. Everything's basically just Tom Morello, I'm going to be honest with you. Like,
you're not the only one, man, but that's...
Yeah, I mean...
But you've really transformed it into something else as a band.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... You guys, I wouldn't... The first thing I think of when I hear you guys is not Rage Against the Machine.
Sure, I don't think a lot of people do.
But you are playing a lot of single note riffs when other people might be, you know, power chord all the time. What makes the single note hit more for you? Oh,
that's a deep question.
Is it cutting through? Is it...
So the reason I actually started doing that rather than chords was because of the tunings I played in.
Right.
So
what tunings we talking? Is everything...
These days, I'm in drop C.
Yeah.
Which I now love and like has been a tuning for a long time. But like when we first started...
Which, for just full disclosure for anyone that's not familiar, that's basically drop D and then down a whole tone.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. So C, so on.
But then... It's like double drop D, some people call it as well.
Exactly.
But that's giving you... Have you had to think about any of that with Janine singing to pitch that for her vocal? Because you're wanting the lowest note you can get, but that's got to work for the melody as well.
No, like if we're working on a song, we've actually only really ever done it once, where me, her, and actually recently Martin were working on a song for the new album last year, playing in a room together with the demo, playing to click. And she was like, "Oh, it's just too low, basically."
Yeah.
So we moved it up a tone, basically. It was in drop A or something, the song actually.
Right.
But we moved it up, and it was easily translatable for me. So it's not really often an issue, honestly. And C's very comfortable for Janine, like. And I think, always has been, like.
And again, to say that you guys are inspired, or yourself are inspired by Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello. As soon as you're going down to that drop C, it's suddenly sounding more modern.
Yeah.
Like, people did not used to tune down that low back in the early 90s, typically. There must be some bands that did, but not the heritage bands, not the biggest 100%. Ones that were selling so many records.
100%.
Are there any other kind of tricks that you're doing that are more of a modern guitar player as opposed to that? Because again, when I listen to you play, I'm not hearing a lot of Tom Morello.
Yeah. So the reason that I used to never play in drop C was because back when I was first learning guitar, a trick that Tom Morello would do, so he didn't have to detune his whole guitar, would be he'd only drop the top string. Gotcha. So he would be in standard or drop D, and he would drop the top string to like an A or a B.
Yeah.
Classic thing he would do.
Rather than having to get a 12 string or something.
Yeah, or just not having to tune the other strings.
Everything, yeah.
He would just drop the top string.
It also means you know where your leads are for everything else
as well.
Yeah,
it doesn't change anything. And it also means that, like, you know, if you drop that, you can still find the octave on the A for it.
Yes,
so say I dropped it to a B, the B's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know.
And you
where
still have
it
an
is.
octave chord if you want that, or you want to do octave power chords.
Can you remember any songs that he was doing that in?
My God.
There were a gateway for you?
Mate, now we're talking. Yeah. So that's where, I started to play in C with my guitar in standard, but I dropped the G to an E for open. Yep. So I could do cool harmonics.
Yes,
and that was my tuning for about 10 years of playing in this band. That's all the first 2 and a bit albums are all in that tuning.
Oh, give us an example.
Which
if
is,
you
I'll put it in that. I think that
guitar
is in that tuning.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll do that.
It will be C A D E B E. and that was my tuning for a long time. And that began with Tom Morello dropping the top string, and then putting the G10E so I could do cool pedal notes. I would ring notes out.
Yeah.
And that came from a combination of like Dream Theater, even Ross from Fatherson. Do you know those guys?
I don't. No.
Do you know Fatherson, the band Fatherson?
No, I don't.
Great Scottish band, and Ross was a big, like, he came up with loads of cool tunings and did a lot of open stuff, and me and him were talking about it, and that developed that tuning for me, basically.
It's so true.
So,
it doesn't take reinventing the wheel, does it? You're not even needing to put totally different gauge strings on your guitar.
No, although anything. I did.
You can to go for the thickest E maybe, but
yeah.
everything else is actually, a lot of your notes are in standard.
Yeah, 100%.
That's magic.
But the thing is, as soon as you start like changing tunings and like, you know, you can start playing a chord where you were and it suddenly sounds completely different. Do you know what I mean? So you don't even have to do that much to sort of find a new sound. Do you know what I mean?
So how much are you doing that? How much are you taking any kind of theory that you know, and purposefully kind of going,
Zero.
ignore that?
Zero. I mean, theory was never my thing, do you know what I mean?
Well, what was your gateway with, you know, scales and anything like that? Because if you're writing riffs and stuff, I think a lot of people, as soon as people are songwriting, as a guitar teacher, you go, okay, here's diatonic chords, pentatonic scales, 5 shapes.
Yeah.
And then when you're actually writing, you're trying to forget all that and just go on feel and go on where do I want this to go?
100%.
And searching your fingers. Does that think of any particular song, how you came out of like?
No, none of it's come from theory at all. But it's funny you say that. See, when you actually think about it, you do forget. Oh wait, I've been playing for 20 years, so you forget that you do know little things you just don't talk about. Yeah, you know certain bits on the fretboard that just work for certain. You just loads of knowledge that you gain that you don't even know you've gained.
It can be a very visual shapes-based learning, doesn't it?
I'm very visual, like 100%. Theory, terrible at it. I always have been. Do you know what I mean?
Did you ever have to use any kind of fretboard visualizers or anything?
I used to write a lot of music in Power Tab, if you remember that. Remember Power Tab?
Yeah.
So me and our old drummer used to write a lot of mental, instrumental, progressive songs in that. So I probably learnt more than I realise now when I was younger doing that.
Was technology a big gateway for you, like kind of MIDI sequencing or anything?
Yeah, a wee bit, yeah. Because
programming drums, maybe?
A wee bit, yeah. None of that I would say I'm amazing at, but like I do it enough to be able to write music.
Yeah.
Not to be the finished product. Like there's people that are way better than me at all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
The production side of
things.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Janine like have loads of hand in the production and stuff like that, but when it really comes to like the engineering part and like really lifting it, there's people that are unbelievably good at that. Do you know what I mean? We'll go, here's some stuff and some ideas. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah. So what I was going to show you was like you were saying about the tuning thing that inspired me. So
yes,
I don't know if you remember a song called. I think it was Gasoline by Audio Slave.
Yes.
So that was in drop. Close.
Something like that.
It was like something like that.
Oh, it's been a while since I've heard that through a Marshall.
Yeah. So that was where I got the tuning thing of just doing the one string, because all his drop B riffs were like that, basically.
Yeah, got you.
And then that's where I think a lot of like your style of riff writing comes from. Like anyone that plays riffs that are like open 3/5, open 12, 10/12, I'm like, you probably like Tom Morello. Do you know what I mean? Like
octaves are a big thing for him as well.
Yeah, right.
I think
one
of his favourites is Immigrant Song. That's what he's. So many are in the second fret kind of position.
Bills on Parade is that riff. He's just changed it. You know what I mean?
But then you're finding a creative way to get to the octave. Again, not reinventing the wheel, but it's a long way from, your smoke on the water rudiments, isn't it? It is hitting. A lot of it's about the drums and the groove.
Dude, I'm so glad you mentioned that. So a lot of music and songwriting for me is like about the groove first.
Yeah. Have you ever started with a drum beat or a sample or something?
See, honestly, man, so I'm like a big like runner. So when I'm out running, I'll sometimes think of like a pattern.
A BPM sort of
that'll
thing.
get my juices going. That's really that'll give me more inspiration than a guitar part will any day. Do you know what I mean? Because that's where the people dance to drums, man. That's where the groove comes from.
At a festival, you are wanting to get people bouncing, aren't you?
100%. So that's where a lot of like that. I would rather have a good groove and one note and then work on
one string.
Yeah, and one string. 100%. Exactly. You've come back around to the one string thing. Like it doesn't really matter. It's more about like the groove and like.
And then you'll hear every pick you do on one string, I guess. So the rhythm will hit more.
Totally. Well, that's what a big thing is why we started doing one string stuff more was because when you're double tracking, it just sounds like I don't know, it's more defined, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. It just hits more. The frequencies are clearer.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the harmonics are just more pure.
Because it gets quite muddy when you add like loads of...
Easily, especially with a couple of pedals on.
Yeah, and you get distortion on, and yeah.
But literally, the attack of the pick won't be as hard or won't hit as much when you play a chord as opposed to one string.
If you're just really digging it and you quad track that, you know.
It's so true.
Sick as fuck. Yeah.
So you've played some songs for us today separate, just before we did this interview. Which one did you play first, and how did that one come up?
I played a song called Misty Ecstasy first, which is in drop C.
Yeah. Feel free to change the order of any of these so that you can pick up the right guitar and get yourself in the right tuning.
Quite all right.
I just want to make sure we don't miss one, so I'm just saying them.
Yeah, that's in drop C. How did that song start? Janine had a demo called Wow. I think it was called Wow or something like that. And it was in a totally different key, and I just came up with a few ideas for it, and then that turned into at least the guitar parts and the chords and stuff. And then she heard that, and she rewrote her vocals to it just because she was like, oh, I'm not big on my vocals now. And that song wasn't even finished till we were in America. I don't think it was quite finished till we got to the studio. We recorded in Texas with Machine, shout out Machine, in Dripping Springs, Texas. It was rad as fuck. And we hadn't even finished the song till we got there. I think Janine actually came up with the chorus when she was there. I'm pretty sure. It was one of those songs, man, do you know what I mean? And it's one of my favourites on the album as well. Like, and that song is it's actually very power chordy after us just talking about single notes, but some songs work better than others for that. Of course. And the main part is the...
Was it a gateway song or practice routine with your picking hand? Because you're playing a lot of one-string picking stuff.
I think a lot of the initial stuff I learnt was John Frusciante stuff.
Sure, we talked about that.
Yeah, like he was the guy before Tom Morello that kind of helped me sort of develop my way of playing. And ironically though, the thing with John Frusciante is all his stuff is like, I don't really have the sound for this, but all his stuff is like...
Relative.
Yeah. But he's hitting all the strings.
Yeah, so that's left-hand muting. Really.
And I, like, Tom Morello does that as well, by the way.
100%. It just gives that attack, doesn't it?
Rather than going...
Totally different. It makes me sing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's
the harmonics coming out there are just so much more with that muting. But your hand is moving fast.
Right.
You know, like your hand strumming, right? So then you just reduce that down to do the single note picking?
Yeah, that's why I'm not a good lead player.
Well, you're doing a lot of lead in the riffs, though.
Yeah.
You're just playing lead on the thicker strings.
I'm not very good at, like, concentrated lead parts that are very, like, noodly. Like, my playing is quite, like, it's messy, but it's, like, very, like, all the rhythms are very predefined. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I wouldn't say it's messy. I'd say it's good rhythm playing.
Oh, and there's enough self-deprecative humour.
There's enough noodlers, trust me. Don't worry about that. I'm more of a riffs guy myself.
Yeah.
Else on these note voicings, chord choices? There's some real the combos of hammer-ons and flick-offs. What are some gateway songs that have led you into, or gateway little exercises? Like, what's your warm-up exercise for doing this?
It used to be the Steve Vai warm-up exercise that was in like Total Guitar back in the day, and it was like...
Which one?
I don't really do it anymore, but it was like the whole... You would go like...
X's up the fretboard, basically.
All that kind of stuff.
Spider exercise.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Well, that's one of them, yeah. And how would you just be doing that as a warm-up, or would you be doing that for like an hour at a time?
When I was in school, I would go home from school and like practice like 3 hours a day when I was younger. I literally had a chart on my wall of like all the exercises I would do, which would be that.
Yeah.
It would be like holding trills for a minute.
Yeah.
Per finger. You can tell I've not done this in a long time. Trying to practice sweep picking.
Well, the one you need to practice are your set. Whatever's in the set at any one time.
You start to refocus on what I actually need in the toolkit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But those spider exercises are so good at building the evenness in your fingers, so that you're able to use whatever, you can call upon them at any time, right?
Yeah, well, exactly, and it builds strength in fingers that you don't normally use.
Yeah, so that when you need them, you can call upon them.
Like, rather than just being like, I rely on this finger to bar chord all the time, it's like, I can do it on this finger if I need. Does that make sense? Like, as well?
Of course. So what did a practice routine look like for you with these charts when you were,
my God.
15 or whatever? So maybe half an hour of this sort of thing?
Yeah, I would have metronome.
Okay.
And I would start slow. And I would get comfortable, doing that, and then I'd be like 3 BPM, 3 BPM, and I would try to get it up to as fast, like 140, if I could get there. Do you know what I mean?
Was it a sportsman kind of attitude with that, like start slow, but I'm going to see how fast I can go?
Dude, I was like obsessed. Do you know what I mean? I was like John Petrucci and all these like shredders were like my guys back then, and I kind of knew I would never be able to get there, but I was like, I'm gonna try.
Well, it seems like you made more of a conscious effort not to do that for the lead prowess, but to again have what you need to call upon it for the riffs. Probably to get your fingers playing what you could hear in your head.
Yeah, totally. And I think like I knew it would pay off long term. I mean, I don't know, it's funny because like I don't really do any lead stuff now. Do you know what I mean? I don't really do any of what I just showed you. That's the weird thing. I maybe just grew out, I've maybe lost interest in it perhaps, I don't know. Like
it is a certain style, and to be honest, it's not, the people that can do that aren't the ones typically playing big festival stages.
Sure.
Or playing the big arenas. I mean
yeah,
perhaps.
You could look at it like, as long as they're enjoying doing it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome, do you know what I mean? But maybe when it came to actually Vukovi and songwriting, there just wasn't much purpose in a lot of that anymore for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Although I have recently found that, like, especially with the Unpeople guys and Jake and Luke and just unbelievable guitar players, and I look at people like them and I'm like, oh, I really should work on my the basics again.
Well, also find a way to get that into a one guitar band.
Yeah.
It must be its own challenge. Otherwise, you're leaving a gap, aren't you?
100. That's why we have like synths and loads of layered guitars and stuff like that as well. I'm trying to think of like any other formative stuff I would have done back in the day.
What was your first riff that you ever learned? Do you remember?
It probably would have been like a Black Sabbath song or something.
Okay.
Maybe Crazy Train.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I had a guitar.
Crazy Train, the very intros are great exercises, just like working the little finger.
So I had a teacher when I was like 13, very briefly, and I think that was one of the first riffs he showed me. Yeah. Because it's very good.
It's a spider exercise, basically.
100%. And it's
all
between two strings.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing as well when I really got into the nitty gritty of like inside picking and all that kind of stuff.
What's inside picking to you?
So inside picking to me is like if you're between strings and you're picking like down and up between them rather than on the outside. Say you were playing on the D and the G in standard tuning, and say I was fretting the third fret there. Outside the string picking would be from down, up, down, up, down, up.
Yeah.
But all the shredders and that were like you should practice inside picking because a lot of parts you'll end up on a bit during it where it's inside picking. Mm-hmm. So you should try to get it in your brain, and that's where I'm doing the same thing, but I'm going down, up, and you're inside the string rather than outside the string.
Going from out. So you, another way of thinking of that is you're doing the same picking, with still directional picking actually.
Yeah.
But you've just halved the amount of space that the pick has to travel.
You're using less energy.
Way less, yeah.
So that was a big thing I would practice in my schedule as well. And like, there's loads of good examples. Like, do you remember a band called Liquid Tension Experiment?
I don't, no.
So they had a riff that would go like, I can't really play it, but it was like that basically, and that you can do on the outside, but they were like, the John Petrucci was like, try practice it on the inside, so you're doing it like that, if you know what I mean. I can't do it anymore, but that was the kind of stuff that I would use to practice.
And it's a gateway to a lot more stuff. It's just a new way of thinking about stuff.
Exactly.
Probably also teaches you the discipline to go, oh, there's another way of doing this that could be useful.
Yeah.
I know I can do it my way, but I'm also going to try and learn this. So,
exactly. It's just trying to expand. Yeah, it's trying to like sort of prepare you for other harder things you might learn down the line. Absolutely. Where inside picking is maybe part of a part, and you've prepared for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's funny how everyone I interviewed at Trees, including yourself, kind of recoiled or you know, oh, we don't know any theory, forget that.
Yeah.
But technical stuff, you really do. Which isn't necessarily theory, but it must be guitar theory in some way, or guitar technique.
But you forget, as I was sort of saying earlier, you forget that you do know little things.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not very good at a lot of that anymore. I'm really not. But
it's like analysing running technique, isn't it? You do a lot of running, like sometimes you're like, I just run.
Totally.
But when you have to change your running, suddenly you can't even stand anymore because you're like, hang on, I'm thinking about everything.
And
there's those periods, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes working on it, and then sometimes you're just running, you're just playing.
100%, but you will know more about what you're doing than you think you know. It's not till you've asked me that I'm like, oh yeah, I know this and I know that wee bit, and you know.
It's a great thing about teaching. I get better from passing on the knowledge because I'm like, actually, I'm not explaining that right. How do I actually do it?
I totally get what you mean. That's a great way to relearn for yourself, probably.
It's true.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
What was the second song that you played at the start of
today? Today I played a song called My God Has Got a Gun.
From the new album, right?
Title track of the album, yep.
So tell me about, was that one fully formed before you went out to Texas?
No, that song I'd started writing instrumentally as a homage to like Rage Against the Machine, because I think at the time, I think it was Brad Wilk, the drummer, had put out a statement about Rage not doing any more shows or something like that. I don't know if you remember that. And it went a wee bit viral at the time. And I remember just everyone sharing it and just being like, you know, they're like basically one of my... Yeah, I was a bit like, oh, I mean, I luckily have seen them. I managed to see Rage twice somehow, but I really was like, oh, man. And then, you know, that riff from My God Has Got a Gun it's basically a Rage riff, because it's like... It is all the notes from a Tom Morello riff, basically. Do you know what I mean? All of the classic...
But it's to a different groove, and again, it's those notes, but I wouldn't say it's one particular song, or even particularly him. You're really adding something with your notes choices. But you were out in Texas for a month, and you were still songwriting while you were out there as well as recording?
A wee bit. Like, that song also wasn't finished. We had everything but the chorus, I think, for that song. So the chorus for that song, when I'd sent it back to Janine, was still that riff. And she was just like, oh, it's hard for me to sing like something. You know, Janine is such a melodic, big singer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that riff wasn't gelling with her very well. And that was something for us going into America that we were thinking about and wasn't complete. And I was like, I need to come up with something different for that. And then the pressure was sort of mounting. And eventually I just sat with the laptop and just came up with a super simple one note progression. Do you know what I mean? Which was that riff, and then turned into this. That's the chorus now. So, and that just made it so much easier for her to write a part over. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sometimes reducing it.
Yeah.
But without removing too much that there's nothing left. That's the AC/DC thing, right?
Right.
It couldn't be simpler without the house of cards falling down.
Got you. Yeah.
And it also means you're listening to the other members of your band and going, what do you need from this to do your job?
I mean, Jesus Christ, like, you know, it's like, if she can't write something over it, then there's no point on...
Yeah, doesn't matter how good the guitar part is.
No, it's irrelevant, you know, I mean, if 100%, it's like, I'm glad that happened, because I actually prefer that way more than the riff as a chorus anyway.
As a
like,
chorus,
she was
for
absolutely
sure.
right. Do you know what I mean? Totally right. Do you know what I mean? The part she came up with is really rad for that bit as well. So, yeah, there's a few bits of that we hadn't finished, but you know that way that it's like, I was worried about it, but like we've written a lot of music together, so I wasn't panicking. I knew we would figure something out, and we wouldn't do it unless we liked it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Are there any other guitar highlights for you from the new album? There must be many, but what comes to mind?
Off the top of my head, so there's a part in the first song I showed you that I didn't play when I was standing up, just because it's a wee bit lost without bass guitar.
Yeah, without the
Does that
rhythm
make sense?
part. Yeah. But can you
but
sort of talk us through it?
Yeah, I just think it's quite a cool part.
Of course.
It's one of the only one of two lead parts in the album as well, and it's basically sort of a high. Let me figure out where the hell it is. So I've got the Pog actually sometimes.
It seems like everything on.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything on.
It's like my first multi-effects. Everything on.
It's legit, man. Honestly, when I do lead parts, I'm like, I'll cover up everything. I'll just put everything on. I don't actually always put that on, to be fair, but it's got a chorus, reverb, the distortion, and I actually usually put this guy on. So I've got it on the octave up and down. No, I've got it on one octave and then 2 octaves.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
if I just do it by itself,
Yeah.
it'll sound like.
But still there, okay.
So no octave. It's got an octave underneath it, and then 2 octaves up. But it's a blend. It's not like a full octave. It's like 50-50 blend.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense?
So you
like,
still got the pure tone there as well.
exactly. So it has a bit more clarity to it, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a part. So it's like a mad sort of like, it sounds
That's
so weird
cool.
about bass behind it, but it's like a mad spacey lead part that's just like it's more like a repeated rhythm over just the chords that I showed you earlier.
It's a lead riff. It sounds very synthesizer.
Very synthesizer.
I think because of the octaves.
It's basically just like that. It doesn't. That's why I don't really play it by itself. It needs the chords behind it, but like.
That sounds wild.
It's-
Give us a bit more of that. Go on. It sounds wild.
Mad, kind of mad. Yeah.
That's Guitar Hero stuff to me.
Yeah.
And again, with a lot of effects on in the whammy bar, the only other people I'm thinking of are people like Matt Bellamy from Muse. But that doesn't sound like Muse. That sounds like you guys.
Matt Bellamy was definitely an influence as well. You know, the first the first few albums were big, because they were more guitar-driven albums.
Exactly.
at
Yeah.
that point.
Before they start to be produced.
Yeah.
In the studio albums first, aren't they?
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Black
I
Holes
love some of the
especially.
newer stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's very them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like Matt Bellamy's older guitar stuff is just insane. Like some of it's amazing. Like.
But that is very Guitar Hero stuff, and again, that's a proper solo lead part. I think you do yourself a
One of the only
disservice.
ones.
No, but there you go. You're making it count.
been a pleasure playing this all day today, which is custom guitar from Tom Bickley, who's based in Birmingham, runs a company called 95 Guitars. And he's been doing it for a minute, I think, for sure. And he reached out on Instagram. Jake from People got one, and I'd liked it and been like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And Tom, who created it, messaged me on Instagram and he was like, look, would you like one? And I was like, oh my God, would I like one? Like, it's a dream come true. So he custom built this. I was sort of just like back and forth with him over, you know, the basics, and he'd already made a guitar that looked a little bit like this with the one pickup, the one knob. He's done relic stuff. So I kind of had an idea of like, you've kind of already made one that I kind of like, offset, of course. Yeah. And he drafted up like a sort of like a mock-up of it kind of thing, and I was just like, that's perfect, absolutely perfect. Though it's funny, like the one pickup is risky though, because I actually do like clean on the neck. Yeah. But in my head, I wanted this to be a workhorse guitar that I only use for drop C distorted parts. Yeah. And that was the purpose of this guitar. So that's basically most of the drop C songs on the new album. That's what I wanted this for.
Do you know what pickups in it?
So he actually custom wound this for me, but it's based on a Seymour Duncan JB.
Okay, what's the JB?
Great question.
Have a quick look, man. I've got a few Seymour Duncans and half pickups. But
I took his advice. I was like, I want a humbucker. Like, but I was
and
like,
this is what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, and he's heard the band, and like, I was like, I trust you. Like, he's been building these for years. Like, give me what you think. And he was spot on. It's maybe one of the best sounding guitars I've played. Do you know what I mean? There you go. Especially through this as well. JB Seymour Duncan. So this guy.
Gotcha. The original Sleepwalk sound. So it's versatile, but it's high output is the big thing. And what is the inspiration behind the offset?
So, do you know,
because you've got a few of those, right? That's
all of my guitars, apart from one, are offset guitars. And honestly, that came from, I wish there was more of it was this guitarist. But, so my uncle gave me my first Fender Jazzmaster when I was about 16. And he had bought it in the 90s in New York, and never played it, and he knew I was getting into guitar, so he was like, do you want it? You know, I used to play like Schecter C1 blackjacks, and I had a Squier Strat to start when I was learning, but I kind of started to go down that like quite metal guitar route, so he saved me.
There you go.
I'm joking, I'm kidding. But like he gave me a Fender Jazzmaster, and I didn't use it at first, and I went to a rehearsal with a drummer of mine, a guy I used to work with, and I brought my Schecter C1 blackjack, and he was like, you are not using that, as in like, this band is not that style, do you know what I mean? And he's like, you've got a Jazzmaster, don't you? Like, use that, that's such a cool guitar. It was an American one as well. So I was like, all right, fine. So strung it up and brought that along, and just completely fell in love with it. And I had barely played it at that time as well. I must have been about 19 or 20 at this time. I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the shape, the look. I fell in love with the idea of like having a guitar that's like recognizable through a silhouette as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
And not as recognizable, you know, as I mean, a lot of the classic guitar shapes have kind of been taken, haven't they?
Well, you see a Strat shape, but it could be loads of other.
It could be a lot of the classic players. Yeah. And then this, I mean, it's got great access higher up the neck. Yeah. But still quite a substantially big body.
Totally. Which I like, by the way.
And a mix of a lot of the classic styles, basically.
Exactly.
It's very cool.
It's got locking.
Locking tuners, obviously helpful with the down tuning. Thicker gauge strings, you said you were using?
Yeah, so he actually, I think he gave me, I don't know what he gave me, but they were thin strings, but I use 62s.
Oh, wow.
So these are 62 to 14, I think.
To 14?
I think
Can
it is.
Play that?
Yeah. I actually need to get the setup on this, but yeah. Do you want?
Go on then.
Have a blast.
So that is remarkably easy to play.
Yeah.
Say that's to say that's really well set up.
Yeah.
Quite high action as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm getting more to higher and higher action.
I am as well.
I think when you first start playing, you know, all your open chords and everything are easier with the lowest action possible.
Yeah.
And cheaper guitars have higher action, but not in a nice way.
Yeah.
But then I think it's actually the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. Really thick strings.
Oh.
Super high action.
Yeah.
Be strong.
Yeah, beat the hell out of it.
But you can just do loads more with it. But that's remarkably easy to play for 62. I've never played a guitar with 62 on the low end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tuned down, obviously. I don't normally playing that, but
Stevie Ray Vaughan's a great example of that, by the way. Like, I mean, I don't know a lot about him, but I was briefly quite fascinated by him as a player because I knew he used thick strings. I knew he'd beat the fuck out his guitar. Do you know what I mean? He would really, really play, and he was a very like hit all the strings, but you know, hit the one note. And I was like, oh, that's so rad. Like, so that's definitely part of the style. And the thing with the higher action is if you have thicker strings and you're hitting them really hard, you kind of need a bit more room for them to
yeah,
wobble.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
they do. It's literally lower frequencies means more of this.
They're
and
bouncing.
Not as, yeah,
they're going to bounce.
They are bouncing.
And you need it to sort of not be. I like hitting it so hard that it deliberately bends out. Like,
yeah, you get a
that.
bounce.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
100%. It makes it gives it that human quality to it.
100%.
Where it's sort of on the like a singer would sing a little bit above or below the note,
which is cool
for an effect.
Yeah, which is cool.
That human quality. On a similar note, you were doing some wild sounds, but I think with the whammy,
right.
When you were demoing earlier.
Yep.
Is I think one of the last things of what you were doing earlier.
Yes, I was doing this sort of synth lead sound as well. Yeah. Well, what I was going to say as well was just some more stuff about like. I just never use tone knobs, and I don't know anyone that does. So maybe I'm just naive.
I mean, you wouldn't with these amps as well. As soon as people are more with pedals, when you're using amps as a pedal platform, volume control a little, but really that's when your amp's doing all the work for you.
Yeah.
Tone, I agree.
Yeah.
Who actually uses a tone knob?
I just never used it, so I was like,
I mean, maybe if you're a bluesy jazz guy, and again, it's all the amp, no pedals, not even a boost, and it's all, you know, your boost is turning the volume up.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's when your amp's got loads of headroom, and it's a totally different world, really.
Exactly. You know, you're totally right, because I don't really need to. Like, I know some players that do use their volume as like a tone.
And that was born out of necessity, because until the 80s, people didn't have these pedals.
Tom Morello used to do it.
Simple as that.
I think his clean tone was his distortion just turned down. He would just roll it off.
And just of the pedals we've knocked, I don't think we've talked about this at all.
No, we haven't actually. So live, so this serves two functions. When we normally rehearse, we are all in in-ears. We don't use any amps.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that.
Or no monitors on stage, sort of thing.
And no monitors on stage as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So this actually began because we went to America and we didn't have any amps on the American tour, so we were like, I needed something to play live with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I actually got a Line 6 Helix to start, borrowed it off our drummer. We just dialed in some tones, and it was just all in-ears, all straight to the PA, and it sounded great. Actually, it sounded really good when we dialed it in. But I wanted something a bit more. I don't know. The Line 6 wasn't mine. And I've been using a lot of Neuro DSP like plugins for recording recently, like the
and
archetypes.
You wanted something closer to
something
that.
a bit closer to that, or something I could at least have the options of something a bit more like that. Although everything is so good these days, I'll just say that everything is really good.
It's
these
almost
days.
peak. I mean, it's not even amp modelling as well, because they offer such crafting of your own tone.
It is insane.
And everyone can share the knowledge online, basically, because you can download whatever.
And then they download it.
Yeah.
So we say, oh guys, here you can upload it. And they can download it. But so I wanted that Line 6. Anyway, it wasn't mine, and I toured it a lot, so I gave it back to Martin, our drummer. And a tech friend of mine, a good friend called Dave Reese, had just bought one of these. And I was talking to him about wanting something for rehearsing and something that we blend live with these. Because the problem is that some festivals are like, see if you've only got 25 minutes to change over and you're ramming on mics and stuff, there's a lot of variables, and Paul, our sound guy, a few times has been like, oh, you know, I've just not had enough time to like dial that in. Whereas if you take a direct out from that, it is the exact same every time. So then live, Paul, our sound guy, has options to blend them a little bit. And he can be like, okay, that's sounding a wee bit better today, or that's sounding a wee bit better today. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, and also you can do some cool things as well live, where it's just like, I'm running different amps on this, and it's just like thickens it a bit more as well. I mean, these sound unbelievable, but it's like the options are nice to have that.
Of course.
For just crazy shows where you're running on, throwing in cables, do you know what I mean? It's like...
There's not a lot of changeover time sometimes, or you have a lot more time and it's like, what can we do? Because you're the only guitarist in the band. It's important, isn't it?
Exactly, 100%. Like, well, and exactly, and we can do things where we've done a wee bit of it where we'll delay one a little bit to give it a bit of space. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, this is the
double track sound live.
Exactly.
Basically.
So we've done a wee bit of that. We did that with the Helix quite a lot as well. Anyway, this is the Nano. Nano Cortex, which I've been using for maybe about 6 months now. So
and what's the main thing that's used for now in your live set?
So that is literally running a clean Bogner. Oh my God, let me find the amp. Yeah, sorry, Marshall. It's not running a Marshall. It's running I find the brand of it. It's actually running a Bogner. A Bogner head, and the reason I actually picked a Bogner head was because when we tracked the album in Texas, Machine had a really, just this mad like $3,000 Bogner head. Like, I'm not the biggest tech guy, by the way, but he was like, you will love this amp.
This is it.
We turned it on and I was like, you're right, this sounds unbelievable.
When you hear it in the room, you're just like, and again on a recommendation.
Yeah, he'd used it for years and he dialed it in and I was like, well, that just sounds freaking amazing. So,
were there any other moments in the studio in Texas that come to mind when you were thinking like, oh, this couldn't have happened anywhere else? This was a spontaneous just moment of the people in the room.
There was a lot of that because the way Machine does albums is you get there and you set up in a circle in a room like this, drums, Janine and me, and he'll have a desk and a mic, and he'll be like, right, play me all your demos.
Yeah,
and you just start playing them.
Got?
Yeah, what have you got? Show me what you got. And he'll sit there with a mic and just be like, yeah, like screaming through the mic.
Hype man.
And you're pure hype man. Also like pointing out what he likes, what he thinks could be better after the song. And like the amount of unique things that creates is insane. We've never done anything like that before.
That sounds amazing.
Because you know if he's vibing and he's hyping, you're like, okay, this is probably pretty good.
We're onto something.
Yeah, exactly. And he's good at sort of just like, he'll be like, right, okay, maybe this bit we could do that, and we can just change it on the fly with him. You know, it's just we've never done anything like that before. So there's a few bits that developed like that. I'm reliving it. I'm reliving it as I'm talking about it. It was such a mad experience.
Imagine.
Really, really cool.
Intense as well, because as you say, it wasn't a lot of time. So
we did not have a lot of time. We did not have a lot of time.
But that can make diamants, I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And if you had loads of time, it can go a bit second coming, where everything takes years.
You can get a bit lazy as well when you got too much time, and you get a bit like, we'll just take a day off today or whatever, which is also nice. Don't get me wrong, but
or you can go down the wrong wormhole, and then it's like, oh, if this takes weeks and weeks, fine, we've got it, and it's like it kind of
loses the vibe completely, like totally. So we were quite high pressure, like a lot. There was a lot to do with not a lot of time, but the way he works, we got it done. Like.
That's outstanding. I've honestly never known a producer be such a hype man in that fashion.
So cool.
Literally on the mic going, yes, more of that now.
So we left in, he would record all of it. So we left in bits of him being like, let's go! Like pure, like the most like Zach De La Rocha, like pure like screaming, just because he's just that enthusiastic sometimes, which is amazing. So we actually left some of that in the drum mics of the room.
Yeah,
just on the album.
Yeah, just
cool.
Just for the vibe.
Just for vibe.
Just to hear it.
Yeah, really cool.
Quality. So the last song that you played of the first ones that you demoed, the Mad Sounds with the Whammy, I think is the last thing that we've got.
What did I do? I did a couple. So I did one. I've actually not played.
And are there any other guitars you want to show off?
Yeah, I mean, I did two bits on one of the last songs. So this is my my pretty beat up baritone.
It looks stunning in person, though. I
cool,
love a white guitar. White guitars just pop on camera, and
I really want to get a baritone from Tom in '95 like that.
Yeah,
in that style, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
But
where did this one come from?
Dude, this is just a Gear for Music.
Gotcha, yeah.
music, you know.
Yeah.
And I think like these have become pretty popular since, you know, bands like Loathe and all that have really taken off, you know. They've been selling loads of these.
Again, it's a combination of stuff. It's got a bit of a metal headstock, but then more of a vintage body.
Yeah. Well, again, of course, it's a kind of Jazzmaster style body, which I love. The humbuckers.
And what songs is this used on in the live set? Or on
so this is actually in quite a lot. I've probably written about half of our last album and the new album on baritones. More because of the tuning. I actually don't use it as low as most people use it. I've only got this in drop A. Most people using baritones are in like double drop D, you know, E, like really crazy, like bass guitar. Like
yes, because you have a longer scale length, so you can go lower without it wobbling too much.
Exactly, but I don't know. I mean, I might experiment with that a wee bit, but I used to play in drop A on my Jazzmasters, and the string, it was just too loose. It was too loose. Even with thicker strings, it was too loose. Unless you want to go up to like Lee Mallier from Greenway, where he's got like a gauge 82 or something.
Yeah, he may as well put bass strings on it.
I think he does use a bass string. Do you know what I mean? So he has to get it drilled out and all that. Anyway, so I won't do that. So yeah, with this, I think this has got 68s on it, and it's just in drop A. It sounds pretty good, and you know these are like, I think they're maybe like £200 guitars or something like that, and they feel like, they actually feel great as well. It's kind of crazy, like
very similar to the other, for sure. That just feels like playing a bass.
Yeah,
to me. So I'm now definitely seeing why you don't play a lot of lead.
Yeah.
Like, so this is just...
I think I'm more interested in like the...
so wide, frets wise, up like... any of this... any of that is...
It's in a weird tuning as well.
Oh yeah, but any of that, just the frets are so much wider. It's a rhythm machine. It's not. They're not a lead guitar.
No. Totally.
But it's stunning. Really, really unique.
It's
it's
cool,
a cool mix of stuff.
Again,
even the black inlays and...
Well, so that was a bit of an inspiration for getting the white inlays on this guy.
Yeah,
and
like the opposite.
So was Jake's guitar from On People as well. He got the same thing.
Great headstock as well. So you're not into any of these ringing out, any of the noises
that was a Dave Reese, a tech friend of mine who does that. He just shoves them in. I trust him.
That's fair enough. Yeah. But if he's listening to it back and there's something there, but that's a good tip just to get, especially with recording. This sort of, if you're getting any noise, I guess with the lower tuning as well, you don't want those making any noise. So it's literally just bunged in there, but does the job.
It's like a noisy setup as well.
Of
do you know what I mean? So you need as much as possible.
Is one of the smallest guitar picks I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Where did that come?
I was wondering when you were going to ask me about these.
Just to compare, I think I have...
yeah, what you got? Show what you got.
My own, obviously.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ernie balls.
Oh, let's go.
But if you compare those, like in the hand...
Yeah, look at that.
Literally oversized guitar with a longer scale neck, tiny pick. What's the tiny pick? What's the tiny pick about? It's a bit Brian May with the, the sixpence.
Oh, yeah,
and
of course, which I have done, by the way.
Yeah, but it is a bit serrated as well.
Has to be.
Yeah, why?
So this is started again with when I used to try shred a little bit. John Petrucci uses Jazz 3s.
Gotcha, yeah. Which are thicker as well.
They are.
Jazz
I mean, they're
3s.
Much thicker. Like look at the thickness in that. It's crazy.
For sure, not a lot of give in it, but yeah, serrated, Dunlop. What is that? A 1? It's Jazz 3. There you go.
So I used to use a Dunlop pick more like that, but they were the big, thick purple ones. I think they were like 2mm maybe or something.
Gotcha, yeah.
I think it was something like that.
And a bit of a bass pick, really.
I think I just like low end stuff in general.
And talking about Paul Gilbert and Van Halen, they used to use really thin picks with loads of give in it.
I don't know how
and you kind of shouldn't. It shouldn't work.
I can't do it.
But me neither. But the better players tend to use Jazz. I should use Jazz 3s, to be honest.
I mean, like I say, I used a thick pick. Wasn't a small one to start. And then John Petrucci uses Jazz 3s. He doesn't use the grippy ones. The reason I use the grippy ones is because I would drop them a lot on stage, be it sweaty or just clumsy, I don't know. So I found the grippy ones, the max grip ones, and they're the only ones I can use. Like I just cannot use any other pick. So I'm really particular about these.
What else we got?
I've got loads of them. I've actually got some mental picks in there, by the way. Like, I think there's a Metallica pick in there.
That is a Hetfield White Fang.
I don't know where that came from.
So we've got a couple of those.
I don't even know where that came from.
What else have we got?
I just find them places. Found that in America, on the ground. It's the singer from Creed.
Of course, okay. There you go.
Yep.
But again, this is a lot of Jazz frees, basically. Can't go wrong.
I don't know where I got the Hetfield picks from. I can't remember. It's so funny.
Got them from James Hetfield.
The man himself. So yeah, I've been using these picks ever since, and like, I don't know, for me it's like, they are quite good if you want to get in about it as well, but because I'm such like that kind of player, like if I used a more thin, I just can't imagine
with too
it.
much give, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the way, yeah,
no,
totally
I need like a little hammer, a little tool. Do you know what I mean?
Percussiveness, you want to feel the attack.
Exactly, 100%.
So is this a good one to showcase the whammy with, or do you want to go for a different guitar? Or do you want to show off the other guitar you have down there?
Yeah, I'll show that as well. I'm trying to remember what the hell I was going to show on this guitar. I think I was just going to show the riff from earlier, which is just one of the main drop A breakdown riffs on the new album called Gung Ho, which is basically just, I mean, it's very Bring Me Horizon, but that's the sort of the vibe. That's just a drop A, Pog, you know.
That still has loads of clarity for it, for drop A though.
Yeah, totally. I don't know, maybe it's the gauge of strings or just refining, you know, this.
Yeah.
I swear it never used to sound, I used to really struggle with my guitar tone. Even when I had this back in the day, I used to like, you know what it's like, man? Like, you're never happy. Like,
going around in circles, right? So
yeah.
When did that sort of level out for you?
Probably maybe in the last year and a half of sort of, maybe since recording the album, maybe, honestly. I don't know. I think
did that
like,
then define the sound?
Yeah, I'm really happy now.
And now you're like, we're just going to keep to that.
I wouldn't change a thing right now.
Trying to recreate that.
I'm the most happy with my rig and the sound I've ever been. I used to always like think my distortion wasn't quite like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It just like didn't.
It's got to work in so many different scenarios as well. I mean, it's sometimes hard to judge it to this because it's not with the track. So you're trying to make it sit in a track. You're trying to make it heard over, you know, on the PA.
Exactly.
It's got to work. You've got to have tried it in a lot of different scenarios, and you're not going to nail that, I guess, on the first album. You'll 100%. Get it sounding great in one scenario, but find it didn't work on a bigger stage, smaller stage, whatever.
100%. Yeah. If I go back and look at like how my guitar used to sound, like especially in a room rehearsing it, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I used to like.
Did you overcomplicate it, or did you? What tips would you give your younger self on guitar tone?
The most simple thing for me was, and we spoke about this when you got here today, was make your clean setting as clean as possible. I used to run quite a dirty clean. Like,
and then you put in overdrive on front, and they don't always.
It was a mess, and it was, you know, it lost all the cool definition and the I don't know, maybe the frequencies. It just was a bit of a mess looking back on it now. And I used to have a JSM 2000 I was telling you earlier. And I used to have it really quite cranked already as the bass to put my distortion on.
Yeah.
And you know, on these as well, you can put it on the high as well.
Yeah,
so
you're in the low sensitivity.
So I have it on low,
it's
just clean, super clean bass. And that, see the combination of having my amps cleaner, but boosting my distortion pedal. See, like taking one away and boosting the other one, that is kind of how I found my tone, basically. That I'm happy with, my distortion that I'm happy with. Quite a lot of definition, like, yeah.
For sure, but is there anything with the actual EQ? Because again, we get so many questions about this bit, and you were actually quite like, not particularly, the amp set, it's the amp itself that's doing most of the work, not particularly the set. Dialing in a tone, do you think that's a bit of a myth and it's more about the gear? The right guitar into the right amp?
This has evolved a lot. actually. So you know that way that it's not till someone you ask that you're like, oh yeah, no, this has changed a lot over the years. So
Gotcha.
I used to have my presence like really high. The bass being so high was like a Lee Mallier Bring Me Horizon thing. I remember they'd done a backstage look at his JSM 800s, which I don't know if he uses anymore, but he certainly used to, 8 years ago, whatever. And his bass was at 10, I think it was full.
So I believe Frusciante does that as well. He's got a bunch of different old Marshalls, hasn't he? But bass and mid all the way up.
Yeah.
Which when you listen to it, you don't go, okay, that's a bass mid all the way up.
Yeah.
But he's playing a single coil through a Marshall.
Aye.
So you got to back off the highs and boost the lows.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he's compensating for the guitar. That's all he's doing.
Exactly.
Or just getting the best out of the gear to his ear.
Well, 100%.
And that's all you're ever doing.
That's all you're trying to do.
Always follow your ears.
So yeah, those were the main. And then, I mean, the only other thing really, treble, I don't know, I'm always pissing about between 4 and 6.
But not too much.
Nah,
it's always
not
somewhere
too much.
between.
I would rather the treble was further down and these were higher up.
Yeah.
The bass and middle. And the preamp, usually that's lower. See, in my old amps, I used to have the preamp at like 3 or 4, but that was more when I had a very cranked.
Yeah, the low sensitivity inputs probably compensating for that a little bit.
If I had that on high, that would not be on 6.
Exactly,
Does that make sense?
It'd already be distorted.
Exactly.
And then they sort of, I know what you mean, but I've done that with smaller valve amps in particular.
Yeah.
As soon as you try and put a pedal in front of them, they're both trying to beat each other.
Totally.
And the gain structure doesn't work.
No.
Signal chain stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
I guess that's what you learn in the studio from some producers. They think signal chain.
Yeah. My signal chain's always been a bit weird because I've never used the effects loop. I used to have my pedals in like a bit of a weird order as well, honestly.
But that gives creativity sometimes.
Exactly.
I've only recently got a bit into delay before the distortion and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It sounds wild.
You could I used to have like.
I was 35 before I did that. You know what I mean?
But that's the cool thing, that it doesn't really matter. There's maybe like ways that engineers would prefer you had it, but I've always just sort of mucked about and been like, I think that sounds cool. Do you know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
So do you want to go for the other guitar? Do you want to play something
I'll
more
show lastly
sure.
This guy. So again, massive shout out to Tim at Fender. He sent me loads of great stuff. So this is the Squier Contemporary Jazzmaster. I've got 2 of them. The other one is actually the one I use more, but I snapped a string on it, which I've not managed to. I snapped it at the last show. I've not managed to replace it yet. This is the backup. It's literally a duplicate, but it's in pink. That one's in like a sunburst.
Gotcha.
So this one, I actually bought this one, and I posted a video of me playing some. I don't know. I was in this room actually playing just a Vukovi track, and I'd known Tim from Fender, and he messaged me and he was like, "Those are rad guitars, aren't they?" And I was like, "Dude, I love it so much." And he's like, "I'd love to send you another one." So he sent me this one as a backup.
Gosh, yeah.
And they basically they have active pickups, which I'd never had in my life before.
Yeah.
I'd always had like P90s or single coils or my Fender American Jazz like. And what kind of made me realise was like the Jazzmaster stock pickups for me just don't suit our music. They just it just wasn't quite working. And it wasn't until I got this guitar that I was like, I just need something that's way more high gain output.
Yeah.
Way
high
more
output.
For kind of metal music a little bit. Like we're like not metal, but like it's
but
not
it can
miles
handle
off.
the gain stacking.
It can handle the
And it's and again I think the more single coil or the P90s, they could take it for the lead stuff, but you're going to lose that definition in the low end.
100%, and I
with
was
a lot of gain.
I was.
Yeah.
It didn't suit a lot of the.
And all of every guitar you played so far, you can really got that clarity.
Yeah. So these are basically what I'd written most of the drop C music in on these guitars. And I love these guitars so much, man, honestly. In fact, these were a big inspiration for thinking about that guitar as well. Just in terms of like I don't use the tone in this, for example. Ever at all. I don't touch it, man. Like I would love to put locking.
Or just take it off maybe at some point.
Yeah, well, we've taken it off some of the other guitars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly, that's
like,
it. And then you don't hit it accidentally.
Yeah, but these completely made me fall in love with my Jazzmasters again, and then that developed into that guitar. But I love these guitars, man.
And what songs are you playing on
These are in drop C. I mean, I played some of the songs on that guitar, but... Yeah, all there.
Heavy clarity is what comes to mind.
100%. Yeah.
Really magic. Really something.
62s as well on these as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot fault them. I haven't changed anything about them. They're completely stock as well.
There you go.
Even the pickups and that, it's like, I don't know, it just, if it already sounds good, I'm like, I'm pretty happy it sounds, you know, I don't want to mess with it.
Like, people get very into customizing in bits, and you don't know what's going to happen when you do that.
Scary.
You can lose what you liked about the instrument in the first place.
That's what scares me, by the way. Yeah, I'm terrified of that.
100%.
So
you were playing some mad set. Could we do the mad ones with the whammy?
Oh yeah, so I can actually do that in this guitar as well. It's the same. Oh, actually, I can do the. Well, I mean, this guitar was what I'd written that thing I showed you earlier on. These guitars are what I'd written all those parts on, basically. Yeah. And yeah, I just like I kind of like keep it on the bridge pickup at all times, clean for neck stuff.
Yeah,
that's it. They're just pure workhorses, man. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed.
Like, I have snapped many a string on them, but that's just because I beat the living hell out of them.
But that's the only thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You need reliability on the road, 100%, in the studio.
100%.
You don't want to be waiting for gear, do you? Is that what draws you to a couple of Boss pedals as well, and these sort of some classic things?
Most of the pedals I bought, I mean, look, I bought the whammy because of Tom Morello, once again. The Boss pedals, I don't really remember why. I've tried a lot of different reverbs, man, and this is just the one. Like, I don't touch it. I leave it on the modulate reverb constantly, and all I adjust is the level per song. Some needs more, some a little bit less, and that's it. I found that, and I've never changed it. I've just always had it set like that. I weirdly use the super chorus as a bit of a lead boost. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh,
so,
okay.
Just to be very particular about this.
Again, that's a bit of a Tom Morello thing.
Yeah,
old Boss.
Yeah, he used to have
the preamp of it, basically.
Because it kind of kicks it up a little bit. Like if I'm. I know that might sound silly.
As well, yeah.
Quite subtle, but like something I like kicking it on when I'm doing any lead thing.
Probably remove some low end, which makes it poke out.
Yeah, for me it pokes out for sure, 100%. That's not even on purpose. That was just me mucking around. I actually got the chorus more for clean.
Sure.
That's really why I got it. You know. I mean, I just love that sound. Like,
yeah, it's great.
It's like
stunning,
man. And then the only other thing that I've not really talked about is my auto wah pedal.
Yeah, auto wah. We did hear it briefly when you were playing something earlier.
So this is a Donner auto wah.
Sure, man.
Super cheap. They're like 40 quid or something.
Fits on the pedal board.
Yeah, perfectly.
And just gives you, I mean, it takes up a lot less space than a wah pedal for
Which
sure.
I used to have. I used to have the classic just Dunlop Crybaby. But it just took up too much space and I wasn't really using it. But I just thought that's really all that's used for. There's like one other song where I use it for like a kind of cocked wah sound as well. But yeah, it's just silly.
That gives it an absolute boogie. That's
mad.
Great.
It's mad, isn't it? Like it's. Yeah, really good fun.
The guitar sounds great on its own though as well.
So, well, I mean, look, this is what I'm saying. It's like this is the most happy I've been in a while. It's actually been really fun to do this because I don't get a lot of chances to set it up like this these days.
Yeah, and hear it yourself.
Nah,
it's always with the track and with the whole band, right?
Full band, or we're playing a show live, and like very fortunate to have some amazing techs that work with us, and they'll set it up. And by the time I come to play it, it's already playing it as part of the show. I'm not getting to sit isolated like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
of course. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming today. So, remainder of the year, I guess everything's building towards the tour at the start of last year, which has just gone on sale, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we've just announced the second part of our tour for our new album, My God Has Got a Gun. So yeah, it got announced last week. I mean, I don't know what this video's coming out, I have no idea, but
soon
should be on sale right now, basically.
Yes.
And we're doing UK, couple Scottish shows, couple English shows, places we didn't do on the last headline tour. We've done like a bigger sort of UK European tour to launch the album back in February time this year. So we're just hitting places we haven't been to in a while, and a few places we've never been to before, which is kind of terrifying. But yeah, that's always scary. Because then you don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
look.
So and I think it's going to give us a chance to play a few songs that we haven't played off the album. Because when you bring out an album, you're sort of like, oh, this is our fourth album, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're like, right, we need to play things that people want to hear, but then we need to play stuff from the album, but then we don't want to play too many new things that nobody knows yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to keep the crowd pulsing, but you
got to keep interested.
Everything's trying to now vie for, what, an hour 10, hour 15?
About an hour 10,
yeah.
100%.
So I guess you're trying to mix it up, but you want to give people the night out.
Yeah, if I go to a show, I mean, you know, I want to hear it. I'm a bit weird, man. I'm not a massive fan of going to shows where they play new songs. I'm a bit, so even if it's one of my favourite bands, like whenever they're like, it's a new song, I'm like, no. like I'll hear that when it comes out on Spotify or something.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if that's bad, but yeah.
No, you want to recognise things.
Yeah.
What is one of your favourite bands that you've ever seen live?
Oh, wow. I mean, like I say, I was lucky to see Rage twice live.
And that must be just bouncing the heart. I know that was the case when I've seen them a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly, because it was kind of back before, you know, phones were what they were now.
Yeah.
Like, I seen Rage in like 2000 oh my God, I don't know when it was, 2008 or something like that in T in the Park.
Yeah.
And I went into work the morning of the show. Didn't think I was going to get to go to T in the Park, and my mate texted me on the morning, it was like a Sunday, being like, by the way, I've got an extra ticket, do you want to come? I can come pick you up right now. And my manager and everyone in my work knew that I loved Rage, and I just told them, I was like, look, this has just happened. And they were like, just go, just like, screw it, just go. So he came up, pulled up, went straight to T in the Park, and we stood at the front all day waiting for Rage.
Incredible.
By the way, bursting for the, like,
yeah.
Like, it was so
like a pilgrimage, basically.
Yeah, it didn't move. We just stayed there for like 9 hours. It was insane. But we ended up seeing like Biffy Clyro and like all these other bands as well, so it was amazing. But yeah, Rage came on, it was just pure biblical to someone like me, do you know what I mean?
Indeed.
Unbelievable. So yeah, that's up there, one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Inspirational, clearly.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I barely remember what I seen during the show. I just remember how mental the crowd was.
Yeah.
Like they came on.
Same, to be honest.
Testify, and it was just like, it was just unbelievable. Like, and I knew every song, like I knew how to play every song. Do you know what I mean? So, that's one of the best shows I've ever seen. God, that's hard. Been to a lot of shows last year. Do you know who actually was amazing? The 1975 show they done recently.
Right.
I used to love the.
Is that where they had quite a wild stage set with steps? It was like a house, wasn't it?
It was a house, yeah. Me and Janine went to the Hydro show, and it was just. I mean, I actually really liked 1975, and it was just so well executed. The show was just like pristine. It was amazing. Like,
I mean, they are very much a live band, but it's a big pop show, pop production, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's very inspirational. I think often you've got to see things that are outside your genre. I've often been surprised when I've interviewed people how wide their genres actually can go sometimes.
See, honestly, like, see, outside of like the music that I play, I don't really listen. I listen to a lot of like kind of like lo-fi electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Things like that.
Well, you're saying the Daft Punk style of guitar that you're bringing into this. That's how modern guitar should happen.
Yeah.
The mix of genres.
Yeah, taking influence.
It can't just be like we're trying to be like 1972 or something.
Totally.
Because otherwise it is music of the past. You know, we've got to move it forward somehow.
Exactly.
And mix it with the more electronic elements. I think you guys do that so well.
I appreciate it.
I really do. About as well as I've seen it done, to be honest.
I appreciate it.
And you do create some memorable live shows. I can definitely attest to that myself. I'm sure you have. You have so many more memories that you can share, and I look forward to chatting with you again, hopefully at some point.
Dude, it's been a pleasure. It's actually been very eye-opening for me as well, because it's like when you actually talk about these things, you realise just, I don't know, how much love you have for it.
I think so. Well, it shines through, I mean, you can talk about it freely, and that's because you know it and you love it. So
100%.
No, it's very inspiring I get that from you guys too as well, so it's super inspiring.
I appreciate
Hamish
that,
from Vukovi, check them out. They're going on tour early next year. The links will all be down in the description, and check them out. Hamish, thank you so much for today.
Andy, thank you for having me. It's been a treat.